And we just passed the 150,000 mile mark in the 2015 Chevrolet Sonic LT, which means it's time for another update video. What's going on, everybody? We're back here in the 2015 Chevrolet Sonic LT, and it's time for a 150,000 mile update. I did a video, it feels like not long ago. I hit 100,000. Talked about all the issues I had, which wasn't too many. Talked about how great the car had been. Never broke down on me, never left me stranded. But I was worried, what about the next 50,000 now that we're over 100K? I'm happy to report this baby just keeps on rolling. 150, that's not an actual check engine light because the car is actually off. Let me turn it on real quick. And you can see it starts up very nice. And there's no check engine light, nothing like that. 150,000, 157, I'm actually traveling right now, so we hit 157 more on top of 150. Absolutely no problems with this car. It's been phenomenal, but I'll talk about everything that has happened since hitting 100,000 miles to 150,000 miles. So first of all, the last thing that I mentioned that I had to do was on this baby. I replaced the alternator right before I hit 100K. The first thing that happened after hitting 100,000 happened pretty quickly. 100,677, very minor issue, and it was a purge valve. I had a check engine light purge, and I changed out the purge valve. Check engine light went away. Haven't had any issues on that since. I put a video on that. I'll put some of the links up above. So purge valve problem, super cheap fix, no problem. Next problem came at 105,000 miles, and so 5,000 miles in, and not a major issue unless you live in a really hot place. It was the air conditioning. The air conditioning stopped working, and turned out the compressor was bad. So a lot of those items that you have on the serpentine belt will eventually go bad. The bearings will go bad, or it'll just go bad somehow. So it was probably due for the compressor to go bad. I changed out the compressor, made a video on that as well, recharged the system. Beautiful cold air. I've had cold air ever since. Also note that around 100,000 I did do a timing belt change as well. That was just a maintenance issue. It didn't need it. It's not like the timing belt broke. In fact, the timing belt looked pretty good. I think it could have lasted another 100,000, but just to be safe, I changed out the timing belt, because if that baby breaks, you got big problems. At 108,000 miles, issue with this baby. It was just hanging there. I made a video on that as well. I went to the junkyard, and the sun visor, don't know if I just flipped it up and down too much, or I don't know if I jerked on it. I don't know what happened, but it was just really jacked up in here. Like, seriously, not even a major problem. Like, it's nothing to do with the car's performance, but it was annoying. So I got a new sun visor. And then the first actual somewhat major issue happened at 110,000 miles. And that was a P0324 code NOx sensor. And it was feeling the loss of power on the road. Now, the car didn't break down. I could still get to where I was going, but I could feel something was wrong. Replaced the NOx sensor, problem solved. That's so cool. You get the code. The code was there, NOx sensor. And I made a video on that. Replacing the NOx sensor, some videos make it extremely difficult. It's really not that hard. You know, so check out that video if you need a new NOx sensor. And so there's a few issues early on. Since that problem, we've been pretty dang good. The only other problem I had was the auxiliary power, the little cigarette lighter. The cigarette lighter stopped working, and that's probably my own fault because I got dirty. I got like food falling in it and just got kind of nasty. So I changed that out, and now the cigarette lighter works perfectly. So that's it. That's it. From 110,000 for the last 40,000 miles, nothing has gone wrong on this car. I'm looking at everything I've done because I have it all written down here, and that's it. Just normal like maintenance stuff. I changed the transmission fluid at one point, changing the oil, obviously, air intervals changing. Make sure you change out the air filter, change out the cabin air filter. This thing has run like a beast the last 40,000 miles ever since the NOx sensor was the last major issue I had. So really thankful for that. Hopefully it keeps on grinding and working properly, but we'll see over the next 50,000. But I'm going to tell you right now, I highly recommend the Chevrolet Sonic LT. I know they stopped making them at some point, but if you can get one with, you know, relatively low mileage, it's been well taken care of, seems to be a really, really good car. There's something else. How can I forget to mention it? The factory radio touchscreen stopped working. Touchscreen stopped working. So I touch it, nothing would happen. Now, this is new. I replaced it with a JVC. I had it replaced with a JVC model. So this is a aftermarket or whatever you call it. This is not the original radio. Touchscreen wouldn't work. I couldn't connect Bluetooth. I couldn't do too much with it. So I got a new one here and it works perfectly fine now. So this is a new radio, not the original. So that's unfortunate, but again, just, you know, not problems like that. Like, the car runs. A couple of problems it's had, yeah, knock sensor was probably the biggest one. Other than that, nothing really that could affect, that could even possibly leave you on the side of the road. Purge valve thing, the car seemed to be running fine. It was just the purge valve came up on the check engine light came on. It was purge valve, but I couldn't tell anything was wrong. Changed out the purge valve and hasn't come back. That light hasn't come back since. So anyway, this is a great car. Highly recommend Chevy Sonic LT. This is a LT, but Chevy Sonic. It's a 2015. Great year, great model. We'll see. We'll have another update at 200,000 if we make it. God willing, if we make it to 200,000, we'll have another update video. Have a great day. Let me know your thoughts on the Chevrolet Sonic.